Welcome to Three Questions, where critical thinking is king, and my opinions and research are only here to support your learning and understanding. Hey, I'm your host, Megan, and I'm so honored you clicked on Three Questions today to optimize you. So this episode, I kind of really wanted to do, it's a conversation I have with a lot of my mentees. It's questions I ask to people I meet. And honestly, I am just a really curious person. I find the human condition fascinating. It often annoys my husband because kind of if we're like out to dinner or just meet people, I ask a lot of questions. And Brian will be like, what is this, an interrogation? And it's not that. I am just, honestly, I am so interested. And that is why I wanted to bring this conversation to you guys. Not so I can impart wisdom to you, because I don't know, how much wisdom do I actually have? But I think these three questions might trigger a response in you to maybe look in different directions or make some changes or lean in harder to whatever you're doing now. So let's start with question one. What is your superpower? What is it? What are you best at? And what is always so funny to me about this question is people think real big. Like, I'm not asking if you can fly. I'm not asking if you can dunk a basketball. I'm not asking if you're great at tennis. I'm not asking any of those questions. What is your superpower? Think small. What can you do every day with such little effort? What is it? Is it cooking? Is it organizing shit? Is it coming up with ideas for other people to execute? That's a job. What is it? Is it listening? Is it talking? Is it performing? What is it? This is a question some people die before ever really understanding or admitting to this question. Rather than giving you answers, I want to share some of the mistakes I see when answering these questions. Number one, people are not honest. Yeah. People see my career with the Neuro Studio. If you're not familiar, that's my other company. And they assume I have this like big connection to neurological conditions. And in every interview, I don't know if people are disappointed or what, but they ask me how I got started. And I literally got started with working with neuro conditions when I owned a Pilates studio in Hoboken. And a PT called me and said, do you know how to work with MS? And I said, sure. At 24, I had to Google what is MS. No lie, I had to Google it. Now, when I Googled it, there was like shit information. There wasn't any information when it came to movement, and it was like stretching. It was like bullshit, right? So I'm like, I need to figure this shit out. It's my stubborn nature. It's my need to understand and really kind of help people. So that's kind of my origin story. That's not my superpower. So superpower is not what got you started. But hear that? That's not like a real groundbreaking story, right? People are assuming, oh, maybe you had a parent who had MS or something happened. Yeah, that might be a more compelling story, but it's not the truth. Okay? Now, when I am interviewed, it's a lot easier just to tell the truth because that's when stories go awry. What's crazy to me is I feel like there's like another Netflix special on a woman faking cancer. First of all, I cannot tell a lie. Oh my God, I used to always get in trouble as a kid. My mom knew I was lying because I would give way too much information. My mom actually said to me once, stop talking, because I was incriminating myself. A few kids got drunk at my house. Christina and Janice, you remember that night? And one of them actually puked on the other one by mistake. That's how we got caught. The mother called my mother. Long story short, 2 days later, I was sick to my stomach. And I had to tell my mom, I didn't just have kids at our house drinking when we were sophomores in high school. I provided the alcohol that I stole from your alcohol cabinet. And my mom was like, stop talking. You're already grounded. Go away. Okay, so I don't understand this faking cancer thing, but whatever. So back to you guys. What if you hate your superpower? What if your superpower is being an organizational dynamo and you think that's like beneath you? You went to med school and you're so smart. Organizing shit. Oh my God, that is such a gift. You know how many people pay a lot of money to help with organizations? Or you could help companies organize or other doctors organize their shit. Okay, I've seen some doctors very unorganized. I think sometimes we set up these expectations of what we should do rather than what we want to do, right? I suck at organizing. My brain, my life is organized chaos. I wish I had the skills to organize. I feel like my cousin Jen is like this, and my sister, like every bathroom has like a soap, shampoo, conditioner. Like there's like just a place for everything. I try to do that. And I do this when I file, like I'll create a file, but then I'm like, well, this doesn't exactly fit in that perfectly. So I create a new file. So I end up having like 100 files with one piece of paper in it. Does anybody else do this insanity? My superpower is being able to talk to anybody. I could talk to the CEO of a company. I could also talk to the person sweeping the floor and be able to treat them the same. I have what the Irish call the gift of gab, kind of fitting for a podcast. My friend Shantae was trying to tell me to do a podcast for years. But she's right. It's a great way for me to get my information out and process because it's so easy. I literally just got out of an infrared sauna. My hair is so greasy, I had to put on a hat. But now I can just sit down and talk to all of you. Pretty cool. I also love to teach. I love to teach because I have seen way too many people think that they are not smart in my life. And that crushes me. So to any teacher out there who has made a kid feel that way, you are a piece of shit. I'm not going to tell these private stories because there are other people's stories to tell, but someone very close to me felt not smart his whole life, was able to complete multiple master's degrees online, and he is so good at his job. He had a guidance counselor and a teacher say he wasn't college material. He wasn't smart enough. Excuse me? People who don't do well in school are often put in a corner, right? Oh, you're not smart, you're not this. When in fact, you just weren't teaching in a way that they understood. Now, I actually excelled in school. I used to make my friends crazy because I wouldn't even study and get good grades. Why? Because when I went to school, it was very lecture heavy, which is why I like to lecture. I love to process auditory information and I get what I get. Reading comprehension, I'm actually not very good at. It's hard for me to stay focused. So if you talk to me, if you tell me something once, it's in the vault. So everybody thought I was smart. I was no smarter than anybody else, but school was really fit to my learning style. I love people, showing people who they are. So I hope in this podcast, maybe you see yourself a little better and admit that you might not like what you see, but think, why don't you like what you see? You are so uniquely you and have such superpowers in what you do that nobody else has, right? There's been times people have literally plagiarized my work and I go like this. I freaking remember though, because I'm petty as fuck. I have a list. But it doesn't bother me because they will never be me. I can share with you everything I do, but you'll never be me and I will never be you. So question number one, I really want you to spend some time on what is your superpower? What are you great at? What comes easy? And see how you can incorporate that into your job, life, and if you can't, change shit. I freaking can't stand when people say, well, I'm stuck at this job or I'm a tenured teacher. Bet on yourself. I said to my husband multiple times, fuck tenure. Bet on yourself, Brian. He quit a coaching job that could have lost his teaching job. He didn't. You know why? Because he's a really freaking good teacher. And I probably shouldn't share much about my husband's jobs because that's his story. But I would bet on him any day, because he's great at your job. If you wouldn't bet on yourself, I want you to go back to the superpower because maybe you're not tapping into it enough. And I promise you, if you lean into your superpower just a little bit, you're going to have so much more enjoyment and fulfillment in life. When I wanted to switch to exercise science, my parents were not happy. I wanted to be a health teacher. I loved health in school. I find it fascinating learning about the body. It was the only class I really paid attention and liked. They kind of wanted me to do bigger things. And my parents were so supportive. They didn't mean it like that. They saw my life going in a different way. So my dad had always said to me, figure out what you love to do and figure out a way to make a living at it. And they probably had to watch me for a lot of years struggle financially, which I did. I had a Pilates studio in Hoboken. I owned my own apartment, but man, I was house poor. I had no money, racked up a lot of debt. I don't like to admit that, but it's the truth, guys. Okay? I think they had faith in me. Maybe they lost it sometimes, but they never let on if they lost faith, right? So it's so interesting to just keep at your superpower. I might be new to you, but I've been doing this for 23 years. Yeah. And for most of my career, nobody was watching. Nobody was paying attention. And what's so funny is I still live every day like that nobody's watching and nobody's paying attention because most of the time people aren't. And honestly, if all this goes away, if all my followers go away, if nobody ever listens to this podcast, what's cool is I still have me. So really lean into it and do not forget how special you are. And if you're not sure what your superpower is, ask your friends, what do you love about me? Or what's so interesting about me? They'll tell you. Just be prepared for the answer. I remember my best friend Cheryl, who's so fucking funny. If you think I'm funny, I hope she's not listening to it. It'll go right to her head. She asked Brian, she's like, so what do you love most about Meghann? And he said her personality. And I got so pissed. I was like, what, am I fucking ugly? And he was like, no. Obviously, I'm very attracted to you. But I've dated attractive women before. But the fact that you are attractive and your personality is why I haven't been able to shake that guy since the day I met him. Okay? But it pissed me off. Oh, I like her personality. I was like, whoa. And Cheryl thought it was freaking hysterical. I'm sure she does too. And then after that, you know what she said after that? But have you seen her thumb? That's a real friend. A friend who can bust your balls. Now, what she means is I have one thumb that is significantly smaller than the other. So my people watching on YouTube, usually genetically you have it on both thumbs, but I just have what Cheryl calls an so a one shorter thumb. I call it my source of power. She finds it revolting. So she wanted to make sure Brian fully examined my thumb before he really wanted to settle down with me. Okay, so enough about Cheryl. When it comes to your superpower, you can't control that. You're so uniquely you. So lean into it and have some fun with it. Cool? Number 2. I feel like I'm going to piss some people off with number 2. Are you working hard or are you competing in the busy Olympics? I mean, I feel like I can say this because I was the captain of the Olympic busy team. I remember one time I used to have to commute to New York City to see clients, and I chose to commute into New York City. I could have worked out of a Pilates studio in Jersey. I didn't want to. I wanted to be in the city. And after a very long day, I think it was a Saturday, I had to teach a course, and Brian wasn't working because it was a Saturday and he has a normal job. And I got home and he was already in bed. And I get in bed and he's like, oh, I'm so tired. And I'm like, you're tired? How dare you be tired? You didn't even work today. And Brian goes, is it a competition? And I was like, no, it's not a competition. But if it was a competition, I would be clearly winning. And I kind of laughed about it, but he was 100% right. I was giving myself value, oh, I'm such a hard worker, I'm busy. Oh my God, I was full of shit. I didn't really know what direction I wanted to go in. I wasn't making great money at that point, so I feel like I had to prove my worth that I was busy all the time. Okay, and I see this with parents. I'm gonna say it. You're gonna probably be pissed, but I don't care. I can't control your feelings. But I'm just saying, I don't think you can have it all. I'm sorry. Working mothers, cut yourself some slack. You guys are fucking killing it. I don't know how you do it. Okay? I think being a parent is the hardest job. I think being a mother or father is such an incredible gift you can give to your child. And I think that should be valued. But you can't have it all. Something's going to sacrifice. I chose not to have children for many reasons, but mostly I did not want to have kids. I wasn't okay admitting that for a long time because I was embarrassed of the judgment. But sorry, that's the truth. So what are you busy with? Are you busy with your kid's shit? Like, should they be really playing in 17 soccer leagues and doing 20 activities? Like, can't kids just freaking chill? This is why so many kids have anxiety problems, is they don't know how to sit still and just like read a book or be by themselves. Like, it's okay to not be in an activity. And like, no offense, I mean, not every kid is going to be a professional athlete. Like, I think we have to be honest about that. So again, I'm sorry if this is pissing you off. I'm just saying, what are your goals? And are you taking the steps to do that with work? So are you actually working hard to reach your goals, or are you working hard at other shit? Here's the thing. Both are fine. To me, if I was a mom right now, my goal would be my kids. And I'm not judging parents who their goal is business first. I don't even know what that's like. So I'm not judging. You just have to be honest about what your goals are and what you're spending your time doing. I freaking love downtime, couch time. Again, God, Cheryl, you're getting a lot of airtime in this episode. When Cheryl and I lived together in Hoboken, couch time was like an activity. We watched America's Next Top Model with pretzels and onion dip, and we did couch time. We weren't on our phones. We were laughing. We were making fun of our other friends. Sorry. Having such an amazing time. It's some of my best memories in my life. Also, my cousin, who is no longer alive, would do that with us. And I'm so glad I spent that time doing nothing. And to this day, I spend a lot of time doing nothing. I love doing nothing. And when I'm working, I'm working. And when I'm doing nothing, I'm doing nothing. I don't know how you do that as a parent. It's not my job to give you answers. I just want you to ask the questions and how you can carve out time for yourself to be busy with the things that bring you joy. If it's tennis, if it's pickleball, if it's doing nothing, if it's walking the dog, if it's cooking, whatever the hell you like to do, figure out a way to do it and stop being so busy and blaming busy on why you are not successful. One more quick story before we go to question 3. I had a discussion with kind of a former friend. We're not friends anymore. Because she said to me, oh my God, women always said, you'll never know what it's like until you have kids, what busy is. And I was like, I know, God, it's so tough being a mom. Like, whatever, how is it going? And I'm not going to go into the full details, but the story kind of evolved into, I am only successful because I don't have kids. To which I kindly reminded her that our careers were never here. I was here before she had kids. Okay? And what pissed me off was she insinuated that I was only here today because I don't have kids, which she was probably right. That's why it pissed me off. Yeah, I'm able to dedicate work and film a podcast right now with sweaty hair and a hat on because I don't have to pick my kids up from school. Touché. But what she was doing was putting me down to make herself feel better. Instead of having a conversation, Meg, how does it feel not having kids? I feel like you can commit more to work and I'm struggling. Like if we actually had an honest conversation, I would have said, I don't know, but I have a luxury you don't have. But she used her busyness to put me down and make me feel less than. And I let her, right? And then I was saying, well, these are choices I made. No, she was right. I can focus more on my business because I don't have kids. That's the truth. Where I got butthurt was it wasn't same, right? I had success in my field. And when I say success, had owned a business, had gotten to a place where she was still trying to get at, but before we had kids. I feel like I'm over explaining myself because if you can tell, it still bothers me because I don't think women and men are honest with each other about how we spend our time. Okay? So if you want to know the truth, I have zero regrets not having kids. And I am so blessed that my sister did, where I have a niece and nephew and 2 nieces on the West Coast that unfortunately don't get to see as much, but love the same, where I can kind of step in and be fun aunt. I am so freaking lucky. Moms, you don't always have the luxury of doing whatever you want, but please do me a favor and make some time for yourself and stop judging women who don't have kids or women who are not working, because we're not judging you. Okay? Stop judging each other. We're all doing our best and we all have different jobs. Okay? I don't know if men go through this, any men listening to it. I don't know if you guys go through this, but if you do, same. Let's support each other. Okay? I'm going to get off my soapbox here about the parenting thing, because number 3 to me is the most important question where I want to finish this up. What is actually important to you? What is actually important to you, and what are your deal breakers? This one's tough. For me, deal breakers, I need downtime every single day. That was the main reason why I didn't want to have kids. I know my mental health and my load, what I can take. Brian knows. Brian's kind of the same. We kind of go in separate spaces. We spend time together. I can tell when I'm talking too much because he says to me, love you, bye, like he's hanging up on me. But those are actually deal breakers to me. I want to spend time with family. I want the ability that I can cancel a session and a meeting because something comes up with my family. My family comes first. Okay? I warned some students there's stuff that I have to take care of. I might have to change my schedule next week because my dad always comes first. End of story. That is a deal breaker for me. So if I was in a job that I couldn't change my schedule or work around my family, that would be a deal breaker for me. So I work for myself. Being an entrepreneur is not as sexy as it freaking sounds. Sometimes I wish I could just go to work and come home, but I know that's a deal breaker for me. Also, my mental health. I need to have variety every day. I don't like the same old schedule. I don't like sitting at a desk. I tried to work for my dad, who was like the best boss for real. Like, oh my, I can't stand passive aggressive bosses. Just be straightforward with people and don't hold a grudge. If you screwed up, my dad would tell you, but like 5 minutes later, he was over it. So great. Except it was insurance consulting. Not exciting, right? I couldn't sit at a desk. I could only focus until about lunchtime. And then it was like, oh my God, I was like a rabid animal. So my deal breakers are I control my schedule. I can work from home in sweatpants. I don't have to put makeup on. I don't have to pick out a new outfit every day because that stresses me out. I get to see my family whenever I want. But I also have to pay my bills because I like nice things. Okay? Those are my deal breakers. What are yours? And does your job or your life allow that? Because I promise you, if you actually list what's important and your deal breakers and work back, that might be all you need to optimize yourself. Okay? You know, phone detoxes, all these infrared saunas that I was just in, all these things are great. But if you are not happy and content in the skin you're in, you're never going to get there. And it's okay to like kind of suck sometimes. Something I gave myself permission, I think, I don't know, maybe it was maybe it was longer than that, 2 years ago, was that I don't always have to show up perfect. So if I like snap at somebody, or I like say the wrong thing, or I don't teach a great class, or I piss somebody off, I don't have to be perfect. You piss me off, I snap back. I'm not perfect. I allow myself to show up exactly like myself. Like I am a grumpy old man inside. I am the happiest grumpy person in the world, if that even makes sense. But I used to like feel like I had to make everybody around me feel okay. Yeah, that's my superpower. I remember, go back to the beginning. My superpower is being able to talk to anybody and make them feel comfortable. I remember my guy friends in college, they'd always be like, is Koppele going to be there? Anytime they brought around a new girl, because they know I would talk to her. Because I was like, hey, everybody's welcome. All right? But that becomes your Achilles heel. So what I want to close off this episode, I know it's a little longer than some of the other ones, was what your superpower is also your Achilles heel. Our best quality is often our worst quality. You might be a loyal person. That is the best quality to have in a spouse, let me tell you. But loyal people might be loyal to jobs, things like that, because that's who they are. I can connect and talk with anybody. But then I also have this expectation that I have to talk and connect with everybody. Like if I'm quiet, do you know what the first question people ask me is? Are you okay? Are you mad? I'm like, no, I'm just freaking listening. But my friends aren't friends with me, so I could listen to them. I have to provide comic relief. I make jokes when people are uncomfortable. I can laugh and cry in the same sentence. I am funny-ish, not that funny, but that's why they're friends with me. Okay? So, yeah, it's a burden, right? Like if you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, I'm a middle at a dinner party, right? Okay? Sometimes I want to sit at the end. I always end up being in the middle. After I teach courses, I don't always love to go out to dinner with people. You know why? Because I've just talked for like 6 hours. I want to give other people the opportunity to talk. But then what ends up happening is it's quiet at the table. God forbid there's any quiet. I would feel uncomfortable. Then I have to step in and chat. I don't love that about myself, but that's who I am. Cool? So I hope from this episode, if you felt judged, if anything I said made you feel angry, good, sit with that. To quote Bill Burr, I think I said in another episode, if you're still angry about it in 3 days, reach out and we'll talk about it. In no way did my intention was to diss parents, especially moms. You guys are the backbone of this freaking world. So I ask everybody today to be nice to your mother, provided she deserves it. I am very lucky. I hit the lottery with parents, but I know that most people did not win the lottery with parents. So I understand you have to create boundaries with that. But just think about these things, the things we complain about, the things we want to change. If you can tap into what is important to you and what are your deal breakers, utilizing that to create the life you want to live, especially in your job. It's how you spend most of your time. Figure out what your superpower is and either switch careers or figure out a way to incorporate that skill set into what you're already doing. My favorite students are my older students. Shout out to Julia right now, who I believe is 80, who joined our mentorship this year. Because at 80, she said, I'm always ready to learn something new. And none of us are perfect, and we never will be, because when we're perfect, it's time to be done in this lifetime. And I got a lot more life to live, so I'm going to not be perfect for as long as I can. I hope today's episode resonated with you. I hope you got you thinking about what you do and what you love. And if this episode wasn't for you, totally fine. I'm not chocolate chip cookies. See you next time, everyone.